lesson is relations and functions. What's our objective, class? Get ready?
Relations and functions.
Very good. Today we're going to be able to determine whether or not an equation, graph, or table is a function. So on your RISE test, it's going to say, is this a function? And you just have to say yes or no. So you're going to learn how to look at it and decide yes or no. There's a little test we're going to do. It's called the vertical line test, and I'll show you what that is. Before we do, you have to make sure you know what relation is. A relation is a pairing of two sets of information. For example, if Emma has a cell phone number, say it's 435-224-2222. There's a pairing between her name and phone number. We call that a relation. Those two things are related to each other. They're a pair. And Ethan, his name is related to his phone number. Well, you can relate data points on a graph, just like we've always done, but you can call it a relation. So 0, 0 is a relation. 1, 7. You know what? I got to get up to 21 if you notice. So I'm going to count by twos. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And 0, 0 is a point. 1, 7, there's a relation. 2, 4, they're related, or 14, they're related to each other. And 3, 21 is going to be here-ish. It kind of looks like it's a line. It looks like it goes through, it does go through the origin. However, because this is related to tickets and price, I can't sell a half of a ticket or a quarter of a ticket. So although I'm tempted to draw a line, there shouldn't be any data between these. There's not such a thing as half a ticket. Anyway, those are relations. Here's a different kind of relation that you're going to see. And then we'll bring it into why we're talking about functions today. Okay, so this is the number of minutes before the bell rings before school starts. 4 minutes before. There are 50 students in the building. Because you know how like right before school starts there's tons of students, but then if you show up early, like 30 minutes early, there's not very many students in the building. So this is kind of showing, someone took some stats on who was in the building. 4 minutes before the bell rang, there were 50 students, and I'm going to have to go by tens, 30, 20, 10. So 4 minutes, there were 50. 10 minutes, there were 20 students. 12 minutes would be here-ish. There were 12 students. 10 minutes, there were 25? Wait a minute. I thought 10 minutes was 20. Oh, 10 minutes is also 25? Yeah. There's something weird going on there, so just keep that in mind that it's a weird thing. 6 is 40. And 4 is 60. I thought 4 was also 50. That's kind of weird. So maybe this data was taken not like in one day, but maybe there was 2 separate days of data. The weird thing is that if I input a 4, I have an output of 50 and an output of 60. If you have 2 separate outputs for one input, it can't follow the same rule. What rule could I say that if I put 4 in, I'm going to times it by something or add something to get it? You get 2 different things. Because I can't define a rule, because there's 2 outputs, then it's not a function. It doesn't have a rule with it, okay? So what we do in an easy test is if you draw a vertical line through it and it passes through 2 points, it's not a function. So what happens if it goes through 2 points? What is it called? Get ready?
Not a function.
Not a function. So again, another vertical line test right here. This tells me it's not a function because I have 2 outputs. So here we go. A function. A function is something that takes one input value and assigns it exactly one output value. For example, let's say Avery is going to babysit and she gets $3 per hour. That's our rule, $3 per 1 hour. So if she inputs 1 hour of work, she gets $3. If she inputs 2 hours of work, she gets $6, right? So if someone paid her $7 for working 2 hours, they're not following the rule. So that's not a function, okay? Because she'd have like 2 different prices for an input of 2 hours. The vertical line test. The vertical line can be drawn that passes through more than one point on the graph of relation. Then it's not a function. So if it passes through 2 points, it's not a function. What is it if it passes through 2 points? Get ready? Not a function. If it does pass the vertical line test, meaning I've got my graph here. Time to retire this marker. If I say my graph is like this, and I draw a vertical line, it only passes through one place, then it is a function. So let's look at this. This is a sample rise test question. It's a little bit faint. I hope you guys can see it okay. The question on your rise test will say this. Which of these are functions? You just have to look at them. Okay? And even better, if you perform the vertical line test. If I perform the vertical line test, is this a function? Show me with your head yes or no, not yes or no. All of you are correct that are nodding no. Okay? Because if I do a vertical line test, it passes through 2 points. This is not a function. I have 2 outputs for 1 input. How about B? If I do the vertical line test, is it a function, yes or no? Nod with your head. Yes. Yes, a function. Pass the vertical line test. How about part C? Slide that up a little bit. If I do a vertical line test here, it passes once. Here, I mean this curve is going to keep going down. It passes once, 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 once. Does this pass the vertical line test? Is this a function, yes or no? Yes, this is a function. It only crosses 1 point with each vertical line. So yes, this is a function. Nod with your heads, yes or no. Is D a function? You're correct. This is not a function because if I draw a vertical line here, I'm going to get 2 points. If I draw it here, I get 2 points. If I draw it here, it's only 1 point. But if I can find anywhere on it that has 2 points, it's not a function. Okay, question, Annika?
So what would be the equation for that one?
I don't know. Oh, actually, it looks familiar. I'd have to look it up. I can't remember off the top of my head. Okay, this one's a parabola. Y equals x minus h squared plus k. We know the line. That one's going to be cosine of x. It's going to be x equals y. X equals cosine of y is what that one is right there. All right. So next up, draw a graph of circles centered about the origin with a radius of 5. So here's a circle. We're going to go radius of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to try our best to make it round. Okay. There's a circle that says make a table of values of your graph. Is it a function? So here's my table. If I use this point, I've got 5, 0, 0, 5. And then I've got -5, 0, and 0, -5. Let's do the vertical line test. I'm going to draw a vertical line. It passes through 2 times. Is it a function, yes or no? Show me with your heads. You're correct. Not a function. No, not a function. Look at our table. What do you notice, Liesl?
Well, I noticed that they all have like 0 and 5 in them, but I was wondering if you could do the vertical line test diagonally.
No, that's a good question. It has to be straight up and down. It's super important. This is why. So I'm glad you brought that up. Notice how 0 has an output of 5, but 0 also has an output of -5. Looking at your table, when you see one input value, but it comes out with 2 different outcomes, that makes it not a function. So even without a graph, if I saw the table, that's how I would know. Which takes us to our next example. Look at this table. It's the same table as that minutes before school table. Can you look at the table and find the place that makes it not a function? Lexi?
The 4.
4 goes to 50 and 4 goes to 60. It can't be a function. Hannah?
Also the 10.
Also the 10. 10 goes to 20, 10 goes to 25. Not a function. So for every 1 input, there has to be exactly 1 output. How many outputs for 1 input? Get ready?
1.
1. If that's the case, then yes, it's a function. All right. So then we're going to skip that part. And so that's it today. All right.